If you get the foundation wrong on your house, you're likely to have moisture and mold problems forever, and it will probably never be a healthy home. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a healthy foundation for a healthy mold and moisture-free home, all right? We've got our three main types of foundation here. We got slab, crawl space, and basement. Now, there are more types in this. For example, pier on beam, but those essentially fall within crawl space. I don't really care how your house bears onto the soil. I care about the space underneath. So first off, let me tell you what I don't like about each of them, and then we'll go through and talk about how to fix them to make them healthy and last a long time. Number one is the slab. The slab sits directly on the earth. Now, we do have poly sheet that is required underneath the concrete slabs, which is supposed to stop that capillary action, that wicking of moisture that's in your soil and up into your house. I just don't think that I really trust that to keep my house dry, especially if I'm in a place where there's a lot of moisture in the soil, like the Midwest. If I was in California, Southern California, maybe that's not a big deal. But all I need is a good amount of moisture to find its way past the plastic and then start wicking up. And, it's not like you're going to see a flood, all right? You're just going to start to develop a slow mold and rot problem underneath whatever type of flooring you've got sitting over this slab, because when that moisture hits the bottom of your slab, it's just going to come up through anything that gets by the plastic. And the other problem is water that comes from the top, actually. What'll happen is this water, maybe it's your kitchen sink, it develops a leak, it goes out underneath your floor for a super long ways, probably before you realize it. And then what's it do? It absorbs down into the slab slowly. It also just kind of sits there, and it doesn't dry downward like a wood subfloor would do. If you had a plywood subfloor, it would dry through that pretty fast because it's quite permeable, especially when it gets wet. So that water from the top is also likely to cause that mold problem. And this doesn't even get into the fact that how do we service our utilities in a slab-on-grade home? I'm going to have pipes down here for my plumbing, probably a little bit of electric, at least my drain lines, if nothing else. And when it's time to redo these, what do? I've seen the horror videos of, kitchens cut up, dirt stacked up against the cabinets, and they're putting in new pipe. This is a really short-term way of thinking. If we look at the past, a lot of our houses used to last hundreds of years. Well, how long is your PVC underneath the slab really going to last? 40 years, 50 years, maybe? I care about that. When I'm building a house, I'm not just building it for me. I'm building it for all the people that will live there next, and I want them to have a great place. So I don't like the short-term thinking of a concrete slab home besides its moisture problems. Let's talk about crawl spaces next, because they do solve the drain problem. We've got maybe 3 feet down here where we can put all our lines, and they are accessible. They can be worked on. Now, it's not fun getting in the crawl space, but it can be done much more so than with a slab. But I've got a different problem here in the crawl space. Now, crawl spaces are usually, you've got your foundation walls here. These are concrete or block. And then here, you've usually got open earth that's haphazardly covered with plastic, right? I couldn't tell you if the code makes you do the plastic or not. I have to look that up. But I have never gone down in a crawl space. I've been in a number of them, all right? And gone down the first time before I pointed out a problem, and it was like, oh, this is a nice crawl space. It's like, no, they're standing water, dead animal smells, subfloors reading, way higher in humidity than they should. Oftentimes they're vented to the outside, but they're not vented very well. So the air doesn't really flow through. It just kind of stagnates. And a lot of times it's a little lower in grade than outside, and the water likes to come underneath there. And it's a nasty mess. And it's just asking to grow all sorts of mold and cause humidity problems on the bottom of that subfloor and then up into your floor. This can be fixed, all right? But that is the problem with it. Lastly, let's go to the basement, all right? Our basement is the optimal way to build, in my opinion. I'm from the Midwest, where basements are easy to dig in the nice, easy to dig in soil we have here, okay? What I can do in a basement is I can keep those walls unfinished, and that's very important. I've got to have these walls unfinished because we still have that water trying to come through from the outside, and we're down lower here, so it's even more important because we're probably closer to the water table. It's going to try to come through, and if I don't have an absolutely perfect waterproofing job outside and everything just right underneath my slab, and I have a finished basement, well, I have just created the same problems I had with the slab-on-grade, but like times 10, because I'm below grade now. So I'm never going to finish them. And if a little water gets through, it's not a big deal. All right, because I've got my dehumidifier here. And my dehumidifier is plugged in and it's dumping into the sump pit. It runs continuously. It never has to be emptied. And that sump pit takes that water, sends it up, out, and away from my house. So a little bit of moisture coming in to a basement is not a big deal if it's not finished. And you can control that humidity through evaporation into the air in a dehumidifier. This is what I do. I have a 1949 house. It is kind of a wet basement. It's not very good shape. It needs some work, right? But when I did this and I plug in my dehumidifier and it spits down into that sump pit, well, now I've solved the problem of that moisture. It's okay if a little moisture comes in. It evaporates into my air and I keep the humidity level low enough in the air to where there's no mold problems. It's really not a big deal. So a little water coming in is gone very quickly. Now, what we're going to do with these two foundations here is we're going to figure out how to get our own version of this underneath them. And that's going to make it to where, you know, if you live in somewhere that's got a bunch of rock and you can't dig a foundation, you can't dig a crawl space, and you use slab-on-grade, don't worry. I've got you covered. We're going to do the same thing here. And just like that, we fixed it. For our slab-on-grade, we are adding stem walls. They can sit on top of the slab, just like a foundation wall for a crawl space. And it is going to raise your house up, you know, probably 3 feet to make this happen. And then we're going to frame in our subfloor just like we would have on a crawl space. And what that allows us to do is have this water try to get inside the house, all right? And when it does make it in, it's not a big deal, because what did we do? We added our continuous dehumidifier. Now, we don't need a sump pump to do this. We can get a special dehumidifier. They're for sale on Amazon. I can even drop a link. I'll drop a link for one. And they have ejection pumps on them. So instead of being like this old school dehumidifier or just regular one, they have a little pump that allows you to pump the liquid out and away from the house rather than needing a gravity drain to a sump pump to get it out and away. For our crawl space, we're essentially building the same system. We're just adding a slab to the bottom. It's going to have the exact same effect. Any moisture that does make it inside is going to be quite controlled. It's going to be reduced, and it can evaporate into the air. And we can get one of those same injection pump dehumidifiers. It will pull that moisture out of the air, pump it out and away from your house. Now we have the benefit of the basement in both of our other foundation types. Obviously, these are going to add some fairly significant costs to your house. My guess is for a small to mid-size house, you probably plan to pay $10,000 to $20,000 extra, and it depends where you're building too, of course. But if you're interested in building healthy, I actually have a guide on some healthy alternative methods to building. I'll drop a link to it down below. Put your email in there and it'll shoot over to you automatically. Thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what you think down in the comments.